So I'm just saying, when, you know, when we all start making stuff like this, and I know it. We all have made something like this. All of us.
I'm still making.
We all have. Well, that's why I'm saying you gotta look at books. See, I was still not looking at books, and I was still not didn't have a clue. Then, then one day I was looking at a wood turning. And I found a wood turning magazine, and it was Fine Woodworking Wood Turning magazine. And in that, they had another segmented turning thing. And in the meantime, I had fooled around with this turning stuff a little bit, the segmented stuff. And I started making things like this. Okay, still not good. Form is awful. But I was getting a little bit more sophisticated, except for the bottoms.
I remember the old block routine.
I still didn't know how to do the bottoms. I wouldn't know what I was doing. In fact, I was doing a show, and the guy was looking at the bottom of my stuff, and he's going, "You got screw holes in here." I said, "Yeah, I know. I don't know what to do." He goes, "Oh, just put some felt on the bottom." And I said, "Oh, that's a great idea." So okay, that's what I started doing. And you believe it or not, this is the only one I have left. I think I sold all the other ones, and I'm ashamed of that. Anyway, it's you know, mahogany, and what I was starting to do is I was starting to make strips of wood glued together, stacked up. In other words, this was just one long stacked up strip glued together, and I would chop them into segments and then flip them up and down, and that's how I got the checkerboard effect. It was cool. That was pretty cool. And I don't know if you look at the bottom here, I didn't know where to sign it, so I was signing them in the bottom on the inside. But again, form is awful. Terrible form. A little bit more, the lines are a little fairer, but it's just not very good.
Jim, about what year is that?
This is 92. This is also 92. Okay. All right. Jim? Yes?
In context, you know, you have to remember back in '92, there wasn't very much sophistication out there.
Yeah, there was. There was Ray Allen was out there, and Ellsworth, and all of those guys were out there. You know, Stubbs.
They were masters. They were masters.
Yeah, well, they were there, and then when we went to the symposium
In Purchase, right?
in Purchase, '93, I was still doing this. A little better, tighter on the bottom. It's getting a little better, okay? Still messed up on the top there. Don't know what I'm thinking about there, still. But got the little thing, and I was real proud of this one. Still got the chuck hole on the bottom, you know, still got that. This was early '93, I guess. I'm real proud of this one. I went to the symposium and was, you know, showing it to the guys in where I was staying with, you know, and they were kind of looking at it going, and I'm like, you know, they couldn't say anything to me. They didn't have anything to say about it. They just kind of, yeah, okay, you know. So that's where I was at. Now, in the meantime, I had started doing experiments. I was experimenting with multi-axis, okay, just for the hell of it. In this time, I started doing stuff like this, multi-axis, still stacking wood up and stuff. And I'll pass this one around if you want to look at it. I use it for a pencil holder now. And This was, I think, my first attempt at something like that. Still got the, I didn't even sign this. I just messed around with it. It's a off-center, I think 3 different centers turn, and it was interesting to me. And from that, I ended up turning this little piece, which I really like. This little guy.
Jim,
This
what
little
kind
guy.
of lathe were you working on?
Still a craftsman. This little guy right here. This is also multi-axis turning. And this is what I ended up with here. You guys can look at these. You can pass them around. Just be careful. It is a little delicate. You can pass this. If you want to look at it, you don't have to. I mean,
Jim?
you know, if anybody
Hey,
wants
Jim.
to look at it. Yes,
I know when you heard me. What kind of lathe were you working on in the early years?
the craftsman.
Correct.
Yeah, and that thing, they would turn in at 500 RPMs. Wow. Those multi-axis turnings. And it was that was fun. That was really fun. So, but that was just a little experiment. I started experimenting with stuff, and you know, let your imaginations run wild, guys. It's only a piece of wood. You know, just try different things. I was, and one thing about me was I wasn't afraid to try anything. You know, I was never afraid to try. Also, I started doing laminated stuff. I did a demo at the Long Island Wood Turners. I turned one of these. This isn't the one. I don't know if you can see it. It's getting old now, so you can't see the difference in the colors and things. It's a very interesting thing. And it looked like a bird to me. It looked like a bird standing there. The bird's breast and wings. So I made a top with bird's heads on it. I thought that was interesting. You know, I did a lot of laminated stuff. A lot of
Describe the
laminated.
lamination process in that, Jim?
A lot of laminated things.
Could you describe?
From the bottom, you can see how it was built. It was how it was laminated with different pieces and how that worked. Just look at it from the bottom and think of it as a square block, and that's been, the corners have been cut out and things like that, and you'll see how that works. That was from polychromatic wood turning, Brown, Cyril Brown. He did, I started finding books now at Woodply and stuff like that. And if you want, we may have that in the library, polychromatic wood turning. Very interesting, really interesting.
Now you sophisticated the bottom on this one.
Yeah, I guess I did, yes. Yeah, okay.